Hey guys, this is Edith with Scrapbooking with Me, and this is what we're going to make today. We are making a 5x7 card and envelope holder. As you can see, put cards one side, envelopes in the other. These actually snap together. I have magnets on there, and then that closes over like that. I didn't cover the sides because I like that yellow showing, but you could always put a cover on the sides if you want. And then I put some little butterflies and flowers on there, and then a little saying from the paper pad. So let's get started on this. So you're going to start off, and you're going to have 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper. And the reason that we're making this one larger is because we have some people that are overseas that their basic card size is a 5x7. So we're going to make this large enough for them. I've had a couple of requests for it. So we're going to make it large enough for them, but also if you make 5x7 cards like I do sometimes, or 6x6 cards, you can use this to put your cards in. Now, I want to say this right here. I hope my sound is loud enough. We have adjusted the mic. We have worked on the mic. We have tried to do a lot of different things, and hopefully it's going to be loud enough. I'm going to test it back just to make sure. And if it's not, then I'll do a voiceover so that hopefully I can get right in the mic and have it loud enough for you guys. Sorry about the videos that had some low sounds. I really apologize. Like I said, we work on it, but you know, sometimes things just go bizarre and we don't know why. But and I've got a fly bugging me here this morning. If you can see it, it's driving me crazy. Okay. So start off with 2 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. And we're going to put this in our scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 all the way down. Make sure I get this straight. And then you're going to score at 2, at 10, and at 11.5. So that is 1/2, 2, 10, and 11.5. And I will have all of these measurements, photos, and everything over on my blog. Then you're going to turn it, and you're going to score at 1/2 all the way down, and at 6.5 all the way down, and then at 8. Okay, so that is your score lines, and then I'm going to do the other one the same identical way. I'm going to do the same scoring. Alright, so you've got those scored, and we're going to go ahead and fold and burnish our score lines. So now that we have all of those folded and burnished, what we're going to do is we're going to take this is the 1/2 inch score line up here, and I'm going to cut that fly in two if you don't quit flying across the screen. This is your 1/2 inch score line, and then this piece down here doesn't have a 1/2 inch score line. So you're going to put this at the bottom, the 1/2 inch score line at the top, and you're going to cut away, and I'll show you, we're going to cut away this, and this, right there, and then we're going to cut away these little corners up here. So we're going to cut those parts away, and then we'll cut this part right here away. And then we'll cut in on these score lines. Right there. Alright? So let's go ahead and cut up on this. Make sure that you're cutting right on that score line. Up to there, up to the first score line. Cut across. And then cut in. And you're going to cut this little piece out here off. And then you're going to wedge this. Wedge your little piece right here. And then go ahead and on this little 1/2 inch score line here, wedge it just a little bit. So do the same thing on this side. Cut up on that score line. Cut in right here. Cut this piece off. and then wedge here and wedge here. Okay, then flip it around and go up here and just kind of wedge and cut that off at the same time. I just cut it at a little angle like that. So that is what you have right there. Now you're going to do that other piece the same exact way as this one. So go ahead and get your other piece and cut it out just like this one. Okay, now up here at the top where you have this little score line right here, the little bend, you're going to cut down just straight down on that score line. All right, now it's just a matter of putting this together. So you're going to take this top part up here, the 1/2 inch score line, and you're going to run some glue, or I'm running score tape on mine. This piece is going to fold down. And then you're going to put glue or score tape on these tabs. I'm going to use score tape just because I want this to be really, really strong. But you can use your art glitter glue, that will work too. This just catches quicker. Just like that. And then on these tabs that fold over like this, what you're going to do is you're going to put your score tape right here and right there, because that's going to fold up and do that, okay? So run your score tape from that score line out, or your glue. You can use glue. Just like that. And then run this one the same way. Out to the end, just like that. Okay, now we're going to put the same identical tape in the same places on the other one. So you're just making two exactly alike. Okay, now you're going to pull your backing off of your adhesive up here at the top. And then just fold that over. Whoops. And then go ahead and pull your backing off of these pieces. Fold those up. You're going to fold this up and join it at the top, at this top part right here. So fold that up just like that. Make sure the corners are even as you can get them. Like that right there. Okay. Then you're going to do the other side the same way. Pull that backing off. And then fold that up and match up those corners just like that. Okay, so that's what you have now. That's what you kind of little box thing you have now. These, like I said, are going to fold up and join to these little flaps that come over. So you see what we're creating so far? So go ahead and pull the score tape off of these. And then you're going to make these up just as even as you possibly can, because this is going to make a big difference in how your little container looks when you get it all put together and how it fits. So there we go. Got that. Got those as even as possible. Now these up here you just want to leave loose just like that. Now since this is kind of a lightweight paper, this is not a really, really thick, heavy cardstock. Since this is a lightweight paper and it's going to hold lots of cards that are going to be pretty heavy, cards and envelopes, I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of chipboard in the back of this. That will just help it keep its dimension and hold everything up good to keep it from kind of collapsing in. You can use cereal box, you can use 2 pieces of cardstock if you want to glue them together and put them down in there. Doesn't matter, just whatever you have that's available. And I'm just going to use a piece of this, which is from the same paper collection. This is the Spring Fling. And I'm just going to put some of that paper on there. Now I'm going to cut this, and I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to lay this. because I need to get 2 of these out of the seam. All right, these pieces of chipboard are cut. They're cut at 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. Now, I want to get both of my covers out of this one sheet of paper. And I know that the bottom, when I slide it down in there, that very bottom is not going to show. So I'm going to slide this down just a little bit, about 1/2 inch off of the paper, and I'm going to glue it down like that because I want to have about 1/2 inch up here on this side to fold over, and that will be my top, so that none of the chipboard's going to show. Now, you could do that a different way if you wanted to. You could wait about folding this piece down and then fold it over the chipboard if you want to do that. That would have been the wiser thing to do, but you see I've already folded mine down. I forgot, and since it's score tape, it's not going to come back up. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this off. It's not going to matter. It's going to be the same difference. And then I will go ahead and cover this, and I'm just going to use some of my art glitter glue. We're just going to press that down. Okay, and then we can glue our other one on, doing basically the same thing. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to go all the way to the end of that like that, because that's going to be down in the bottom. This way I don't have to use another piece of paper. This is going to be, I'll get my stability in there, but I'll only use one sheet of paper to do this. I hate having to use 2 sheets of paper to cover something like this. I like to save paper. I don't know why, since I have a million pieces, but I do. Alright, so let's put that right at the end. Just like that, and glue that down. Okay, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ruler. Just going to lay it in there. I'm not even going to measure to make sure that I'm getting exactly the same on both sides. I'm just going to kind of put my ruler there, and I'm going to cut right down through there. That'll give me about the same amount of cardstock for both sides. And I'll just cut down that line. Or design paper. This is design paper, not cardstock. On the ends, you can just cut straight up. You don't have to have any extra paper there, because that's going to be the very end, and you're not going to have to worry about it. So go ahead and cut right against the chipboard. Like that, and then see, I still have this piece that I can do something else with. Okay, now what we're going to do is just rock that up and put some art glitter glue down there. Put a good amount. And we do have more of the art glitter glue coming in. I think we're sold out of a couple of sizes right now. We do have this size, the 2 ounce, but the 4 ounce and the 8 ounce we're sold out of. But we have more coming in, hopefully this by the end of the week or the first of next week. So see, that's going to cover the top of your chipboard, so nothing's going to show. This is going to be down in the bottom, so nobody's going to see that. And then go ahead and do this one the same way. So there we go. We've got our pieces to go down in here. And now all we're going to do is slide these down in, just like that. We will still have that little bit of yellow showing at the top, so that'll be good. So we'll slide it in just like that. And I'm going to put some art glitter glue on the back, and then glue that down. And just slide it down as far as it'll go, and then just press it down. Go ahead and run your bone folder in there and just press that down all over. And then you've got a nice sturdy container here for your cards. I have lots of people ask me, where do I get my chipboard? We sell chipboard in our store. That link will be below. We sell score tape in our store, art glitter glue, all kinds of things like that. So you can go over and check the store out if you'd like. If you are an E-Kit Club member, you get 15% off, and you will have the code. So you can use that on any of these items. Okay, we're just putting the other one together the same way. Okay, again, slide that one in, use your bone folder, and go over that. Make sure that it is adhered well, and then you've got your two pockets right there, one for your cards and the other one for your envelopes. Now we're going to lay these aside for a moment, and then I'm going to go ahead and put our handle together. Now for the handle, I've got two pieces of cardstock that are cut at 1 1/4 by 12, and then I've got one piece of pattern paper that is cut at 1 by 12. We're going to glue both of these together. This is just going to make it a lot stronger. Okay, then you're going to glue your pattern paper on the top, just leaving a little bit of that yellow showing on both sides. Then we're just going to lay this aside and let this dry. And now you're going to have a piece that is cut at 6 1/2 by 8. And you're going to need to score this on you put it in on the 6 1/2 inch side, and you're going to score at, let me look, you're going to score at 1 and at 4. So 1 inch and 4 inches, okay? Then you have a piece that is cut at 3 by 8, and you're going to put it on the 3 inch side, and you're going to score at 1 1/2, right down the center, 1 1/2, okay? Now on this piece right here, this is the 6 1/2 by 8 inch piece. On this side right here, this is going to be your front flap. So you see you've got that big piece, got that small one. On this side, we're going to go ahead and do some punching. I want this to be a little bit decorative. So I've just got a Martha Stewart punch, and it's in that little daisy punch. And I'm going to go ahead and punch this down through there. Now, as you can see, I left just a little bit on each end. That's so that this will stay on there, because if I had punched it all the way, this would have been just a separate piece, because see, it cuts all the way through. So I left just a tiny bit on each end, and all you have to do that is just start it with the end of your paper right there at the end of that, because see, you've got that much that it doesn't punch. So if you want to leave just a little bit on the ends, just start the paper right at the end of this, and you'll have just a little bit on each end, okay? Now I have a piece of cardstock, and it's just a pink scrap piece that I have that is cut at 2 1/2 by 8, and I'm going to glue that right on the inside, just like that. And see, that's going to kind of bring out my flowers there, and then I'll put some bling on there. So we're going to glue this down. Now I'm just going to glue at the ends on here. I'm just going to put glue right at the ends, and then I'm going to go down the flowers and just put a little dollop of glue on each one. I don't want my glue showing on the front side, but I want my flowers to be glued down, so I'm just putting a little bit on each one. Now we're going to go back to our cases, and you're going to put them together just like this. Now I'm not going to put an individual flap on each one of these like we did the smaller version, because I think that one flap is going to be sufficient. So I'm going to put them together like that. I'm going to flip it over, and then this is where we're going to put this piece. This is that piece that we cut at 3 inches by 8 inches and scored in the center. So this is going to be where we put that piece right there to glue them together. This is just like we did on the smaller version. But I'm going to go ahead and fold this score line both ways so they don't have flexibility. And then I'm going to put some score tape on here. Just don't go over your score line in the center with your score tape. Just go right up to it. Now remove the backing from your score tape on one side, not on both sides. Just on one side. And then go ahead, put your boxes together like they're going to sit. And then we'll drop this box down and we're going to put it on this one first. So you just need to, it should be the exact size that you need. Make sure that score line is not too far up. There we go. I think that works right there. And then go ahead and remove the score tape, the backing, off of this side. Now you can use regular glue on this if you want to, wet glue. That will be fine. I'm just using the score tape because it makes it a little bit faster for the video. Now when you put your other one up there, match all the edges up really, really well before you glue it down. Make sure everything is matched up and then flip it over and glue it down. Just like that. Then you have your two pieces that when it's opened up, it opens up like this. Alright, now we're ready for the flap. Now the flap is going to go on the back like that. It's going to glue right there and then come across and it will snap down here with magnets. But before we put everything together, let's go ahead and put some mats on here. Now I'm using one of my favorite papers from that collection, and this is the Rain Boots. I absolutely love this paper. So we're going to put mats on the front and the back and then on the inside. These large mats are cut at 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. So we're going to put those. And we'll flip it over and we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, then you can open it up and we'll put the mats on here. Now these mats for the two pieces here are cut at 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. And of course you can put them either way you want. I think I'm going to, instead of matching this up, I think I'm going to flip this over and put one like this and then the other like that. Now I want to fix this where when these are closed up that they will stay closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some magnets here. Now again, like I always do, you could put magnets under the paper if you want to. I'm going to put them right at the edge, so I didn't really want to put it under the paper because it would have left such a bump, but I'm putting it at the edge, and then I can always put a little piece of paper over it. A lot of times when you put it at the edge like that, your paper won't close down or won't seal down. So then I'm just going to take the backing off of this side. And then I'll fold them up together. Press them together really, really even. And then pull them down and make sure those are sealed up really well, pressed down really well. And there you go. So those are going to stay closed. Even when you open up your flap, they're not going to fall open and cards go everywhere. So then we're just going to cut a little piece of paper to go over each one of those magnets. So now our magnets are covered over, and then it closes up just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and put this on, and I don't think it matters which is the front and which is the back. So we're going to put that right there. So I'm going to put some score tape on here and some art glitter glue because I want to have a little bit of wiggle time so I can get it in the right place. So you can just run that art glitter glue down over that score tape. Then what you want to do is make sure that that score line doesn't go over the edge here. So we're going to put it down. I'm going to kind of look at it from this side. I'm not going to press it down. I'm going to flip it over and look from this side and make sure that we've got it just about right. See, that art glitter glue gives us just a little bit of wiggle room. And then we'll lay it down and press it down. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put some mats on here. Okay, so the piece that we're going to put right here, that will be, I think we're going to use the kite on this side. There we go. So this piece is cut at 2 3/4 by 7 3/4, and I'll make sure, yes, 2 3/4 by 7 3/4. We're going to put that down. Okay. Now we're going to cover this piece, and this piece is cut at 2 1/4 by 7 3/4. So we're going to put that piece down right there, and I'm using, you know, as you can see, I just cut it in half so it'll kind of match up. And guess what? Before we put this piece down, let's go ahead and put our magnets on. Can you believe I remembered on this one? Well, at least I remembered on this side. I'm always so anxious to put my mats on that I forget about magnets. But thankfully, there's a way that you can put them on there without, even if you forget, so. And we do have these magnets in the store as well. So if you want to check those out. These are the basic gray magnets. I absolutely love them. There we go. That one there. Then we'll put that one about right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the backing off of that. And fold this over, stick that down so that those magnets will go to that front side. Let's see, if we can get them straight. There we go, that should be straight right there. Okay, then I can go in there and press those down, and then I can cut a little piece of paper and put over that. No problem. So if you forget your magnets all the time like I do, don't worry about it. Just cut a little piece of paper and cover them up. Nobody will know unless you tell them. Alright, we'll put that down there. Cover those magnets up really well. Okay, that will seal over just like that. Now we've got the piece for the top here. So this piece for the top is cut at 2 3/4 by 7 3/4, and we're going to use the flowers. That. And then this piece for the front is cut at 1 3/4 by 7 3/4 because we didn't want to cover up our flowers, so we're going to put it just like that. So we're going to put these little tiny pieces of bling in the center of these flowers. And I hope I have enough here. I do believe I do, but we're going to put those in the center of those flowers. And I'm just using my little pokey tool, but you can also use your pickup tool. Now that makes them pop. I love that. That is so cute. Okay, we're going to lay that aside. Okay, let's go ahead and prepare our handle. So all you need to do on the handle is you want to lay it in your scoreboard, and you want to score at 1 inch on both ends. And it's going to be hard because you're going through quite a bit of paper, but you can do it on one side and then flip it over and score it on the other side. As long as you can get it to fold a little bit like that, you're good. And then just take your finger and run over this so that you can get that little bit of bend in there, like that. These are going to need to flip up on the end, and then we're going to put these down right here and right there, just like that. And that's going to give you your little handle. So we're going to put score tape on the end of here. Okay, pull the backing off, and I'm just going to pull off of one end at a time. And then you're going to put it in the center and then right at the end, and you can look at the side and see where that center is by going by that score line. And then just press that down. Go ahead and pull the backing off of the other side. Oops, sorry about that clanging on the glass. And then again, just look at the side, see where they come together there, and then just press that down. Make sure I got them even. Yeah, that looks good. So press that down really well. And then you can put a piece of bling up here to make it look like that's what puts, you know, what holding it together. So I'm just going to use some of the same bling that I used on the little flowers on the front. A couple of pieces there. You could always put this on with a brad if you wanted to. If you want to make sure that nothing comes loose, you could always put that on with a brad, but I'm thinking that my score tape is going to hold it just fine. Now I have cut this piece out of the paper pack, and it's the little saying that butterflies, flowers, and spring showers. Love that. And I'm going to put it right there, but I can't put it up on pop dots because of the lid, so I'm just going to put it down right there. We'll slide that up in there. Bring it down where we can see the all the wording on there. And then I have punched out some butterflies from my butterfly punch that came from Loretta. And I punched out a large one that I had in my stash. These are all Martha Stewart. And then I punched out some flowers from our EK punch. And this one we have in the store, and that link will be below. So I'm going to put these together and kind of put them around on there to decorate it up just a little bit. Okay, we have our little flowers and butterflies on there, and now I'm just going to put some bling all over those in the center. Then I'm going to come back with my diamond stickles, and I'm going to go on my butterflies and my flowers and put some of that on there to make those pop. And two, it will make them hold their shape while they're wet. If you'll shape them like you want them, then when they dry, they're going to hold that shape. Now, while these are wet, just go in with your little pokey tool and lift up the petals. Lift up the little butterfly's wings. And when it dries, everything will stay that way. So any of the pieces that you want lifted, just lift them up, maneuver them like you want to, and then just let them dry. And there we go. There is you see the glitter on there. And that is our little 5x7 card and envelope box. And it snaps together that way and this way. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. All of the measurements with photos and everything will be over on my blog. That link will be directly below. All of the product that we have used that we can find, that will also be directly below. If you just click that see more or show more down below, you'll see it'll drop down and show all of our links and everything. And remember, anytime that you purchase through any of our links, you're just helping us keep this YouTube channel alive, and we really appreciate it. Alright, we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.